You ever just feel like you want to disconnect? Just tune out all the noise, the bad news, the constant political chaos? I think we've all been there. Well, it turns out this feeling is nothing new. We're about to dive into a debate that's been going on for 2,500 years, straight from the Analects of Confucius. And it gets right to the heart of this question. When the world feels like it's falling apart, do you have a duty to jump in and try to fix it? Or is it smarter, maybe even more noble, to step back, protect your own sanity, and just walk away?
So yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? When you're facing a society that feels, deeply flawed, do you withdraw to protect your own integrity, or do you engage and try to make a difference? This single question is what we're going to unpack. Do you run from the fire, or do you run towards it?
All right, to really get why this debate was so intense, you've got to understand the world they were living in. We're talking about the late spring and autumn period in China. And let me tell you, it was chaotic. Imagine a time where all the old rules are breaking down. Morals seem to be collapsing, political backstabbing is the norm. It's a pretty bleak picture. And it's out of this complete mess that this huge, profound choice emerges.
Okay, so let's start with one side of the argument. The hermits. The ones who said, "I'm out." Now, it's really important to get this. They weren't seen as cowards, far from it. Their choice to withdraw was seen as a powerful, principled stand. And we get our first taste of their argument from a really fascinating character, a guy known as the Madman of Chu.
So this madman basically walks up to Confucius and hits him with this incredible, poetic warning. He compares Confucius to a phoenix, this amazing mythical bird, and says, "Hey, phoenix, what's happened to your virtue? The past is gone, you can't fix it, but you can still save your future. Stop! Just stop! Getting involved in politics right now isn't just a bad idea, it's downright perilous."
And the arguments keep coming. Another hermit farmer, Jie Ni, uses this incredible metaphor. He says the whole world is like a massive raging flood, a rushing torrent. And he asks, who on earth can change that? He looks at Confucius, going from one shady official to the next, and basically says, why would you follow a guy who's just hopping from one sinking ship to another? Wouldn't it be way smarter to follow someone who escapes the flood altogether?
So let's just nail this down. The hermit's stance, it's not about being scared. It's a principled withdrawal. It's a conscious choice. For them, the most important thing, the absolute #1 priority, is to protect your own personal purity, your own integrity. You have to keep yourself clean from all the corruption and chaos. And if that means leaving the world behind, well, so be it.
I mean, that's a pretty powerful case for checking out, right? It's logical, it's about self-preservation, about moral purity. You hear that and think, how can you possibly argue with it? Well, Confucius did. And his rebuttal is, well, it's the foundation of his entire philosophy. So let's see how he responds.
And I love this detail from the text. Before Confucius even says a word, he sighs. You can just feel the weight of that sigh. This isn't just some academic debate for him. It's deeply personal, kind of sad even. He gets where they're coming from. He really does. But he just can't accept it. And what he says next, this is pure, undiluted Confucianism.
He says, you can't just go flock with birds and beasts. Think about that. We're humans. Our place is with other humans. If I'm not going to be with the people of this world, who am I supposed to be with? And then he delivers the knockout punch. If the way already prevailed in the world, I wouldn't be here trying to change it. The entire reason for his mission is because things are so messed up. If the world were perfect, he'd be out of a job.
This idea gets fleshed out even more by one of Confucius's top disciples, a guy named Silu. So later on, Silu bumps into another one of these hermits and basically has to defend his boss's philosophy. And what he does is, he takes Confucius's more, heartfelt response and lays it all out as a clear, logical set of rules about why we have a duty to society we simply cannot ignore.
And this really lays it all out, side by side. You've got the hermit's view. The goal is to preserve personal purity. It's about keeping yourself clean. And the method? Simple. Flee the world. On the other hand, you have the Confucian view. The goal isn't personal purity, it's practicing righteousness, doing the right thing. And you can only do that by engaging with people. The risk? Yeah, you might fail. It's dangerous. But for them, that's a risk you have to take, because the hermit's way risks disordering the great social bonds that hold us all together.
Zilu really breaks it down, and his logic is powerful. He says, look, to not serve society is to be without righteousness. Period. There are fundamental relationships, like between an elder and a younger person, that you just can't abandon. And this is the big one. Trying to keep yourself pure by running away from your duties actually messes up the most important bonds that hold society together.
And finally, the whole point of serving isn't about winning or succeeding. It's simply about doing what's right. It's about showing up and trying.
So you have this incredibly powerful idea of engaging with the world even when you know the odds are stacked against you. It's almost heroic, but also kind of tragic. And this concept, this duty to engage, has echoed down through the centuries. It's not just some ancient philosophical point. It's a question that feels more relevant today than ever before.
And this final quote really sums up the entire spirit of it all. It's this idea of doing it, despite knowing it may be impossible. Zilu basically says, oh, I'm well aware that the world is a mess, and the righteous path isn't winning right now. I already know that. And that's just so profound, isn't it? It's an admission that this isn't about getting a guaranteed win. It's about the moral duty to act anyway. It's about doing the right thing no matter what.
Which brings this whole 2,500-year-old debate right back to us, right here, right now. In our own crazy, complex world, where do you draw that line? How do you balance that very real, very human need to protect yourself, your family, your own peace of mind, with what Confucius would call our duty to engage? How do we face our own rushing torrents and decide whether to step in or step away? There's no simple answer, of course, but it's probably one of the most important questions we can ask ourselves.